Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Monday. I hope your week is off to a good start. So I'm coming at you today with a bare face because we're gonna do a powder foundation routine video today. This isn't necessarily meant to be a tutorial, just to show you how I'm currently doing my powder foundation. I do wear powder foundation exclusively because I do have a much oilier skin type than I would say most. I will say my oiliness has leveled out a little bit the older that I've gotten. I think that has to do with, one, the skincare that I'm using, two, incorporating tretinoin. I do think that that has also helped to level out my oil production a little bit. Also, I think that blue light therapy has helped. There's just several things that I'm doing that I think have had a pretty good effect on the oiliness level of my skin. But that being said, despite all that, I still have oily skin. And for me, liquid foundation doesn't work. I have tried a ton of liquid foundations in the past. In fact, I used to go to Sephora on a regular basis and just get samples of liquid foundations to be able to test out. And even if they were specifically designed for an oily skin type, they still slid off my face. I know that a lot of people prefer the coverage of a liquid, but I think you can get pretty darn good coverage with a powder foundation. And I also think that people with dry skin can wear powder foundation. I think you have to adjust the way that you apply the powder foundation on a dry skin, but I 100% think that it can be done. I used to do it on clients in the past when I did makeup, and there's ways to do it where it does look natural. We're not talking about that today because we're talking about how I do it on my skin, which is oily. So anyway, guys, let's get into it. I just opened up a fresh, it's really fresh, it's like just out of the box fresh, Laura Geller Balance in Brighten. This is still my go-to preferred powder foundation. I think it's beautiful. This actually starts its life out as a cream product that is like essentially piped onto terracotta tiles, and then it's baked. So this is a baked powder foundation. You can kind of see the color variation in there. To be totally honest, this is not the best, not necessarily color match, but like tone match to my skin. I have quite a bit of yellow in my skin, and this is much more neutral, kind of pinky toned, but I adjust it with another powder foundation over top, which is probably way excessive for the vast majority of you, and I'm not encouraging you to do this, but I love the finish of this so much and the wear of it and the feel of it on my skin that I'm willing to adjust it to make it work for me. So that's how much I love this. And I've used it for years. I have one more backup. Whenever I get back down to my last backup, I immediately place an order for like 3 backups. That is how much I love this powder foundation. Multiple repurchases. So, first things first, I did apply SPF, which I would encourage you to do as well. I applied My Beloved, which is the Paula's Trace Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense SPF 30. This is a mineral SPF. Being an oily skin girl, I find that mineral SPF is what works best for me. I don't mind chemical sunscreens, but they don't work the best for my skin. So this one is a zinc oxide. I also do really well with titanium dioxide or even a combination of zinc and titanium. But yeah, this is a must. I apply it all over my face. I apply it even on my lids. It's fantastic and it's a must. Also on my eyelids already is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter eye primer. I also have oily lids. I'm just an oily person. So this is already on my lids, and that matters because I like to go over everything with the powder foundation first. So I have to put all of my like primer bits on first. I do suggest waiting at least, I don't know, probably like 5-10 minutes if you can to really let your SPF soak in and settle. Some mornings I go a little faster, but usually I like to give it about 10 minutes. So I am now taking a somewhat damp beauty blender type sponge. This one's from Pure. And I'm taking the, the Milk Makeup Blur and Set Matte Loose Setting Powder. And I took the top off because I don't like this little netting thing. So this just comes off. So I'm going to dip this into the powder. I like literally just dip into and get on. How's that for a tutorial? And I'm gonna start pressing this into my skin. So the reason I do this is because this helps to kind of disguise my pores a little bit before I even go in with my powder foundation. I'm not using any like pore primer or anything like that. But it helps to disguise the look of my pores, and it helps when oil breaks through kind of in the afternoon hours to help absorb that. I'm a big fan of layering my powders and doing light layers. I think that's important. So it might look a little silly right now because I might have some like white patches. We're going to take care of that. Oh, I think I hear Mr. Kong. Hold, please. And we're back. Sorry, crisis averted. He wanted some water, so we got him some water. He's fine. Okay, so once I get that kind of initially pressed into the skin, I'm left with something that definitely looks very matte, right? But we'll soften it up here in a minute. Okay, so next I'm going to take my brand new Balance in Brighten, and I'm going to use legit my most inexpensive makeup brush for powder foundation. That's the Milani powder bronzer brush. I'll put links for everything that I'm currently putting on my face in the description box down below, so links will be down there. So I love this because it gives me the ability to, by the way, I do the same trick with my powder foundation that I do with my eyeshadow, where I tap it into the brush and then work it into the skin. I can do that with other powder products as well. I feel like I had a point. Sorry, I have the attention span of a field mouse these days. We'll start by buffing this into my forehead. So I like to do the just swirly motions here. Don't press too hard on your brush. Like if you're like completely splaying out the bristles like this, that's not what you want. Just like, you know, soft, be gentle. Are you on break, Stella?
We're doing this zoo thing. I grabbed my whole entire pencil board.
Oh. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Have fun. She's in class. Okay. And so I'm just buffing this into my skin. That's all. It's going everywhere, right? And that's what I want. It provides some really nice, even coverage. Make sure that you bring your foundation down onto your neck. You don't have to like do your entire neck, but just make sure that you have like a nice gradient so that you don't have that line of like, this is where my foundation ends. And I do go across my lids as well to kind of even those out and to also set the primer. So yes, I do use the powder all up underneath my eyes, but eye cream helps it not look powdery underneath my eyes. Okay, so that is, did I get my nose? I feel like I did. So that's layer number 1, which doesn't look bad just on its own, but I'm gonna kind of color correct it, and I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter. What's this called? Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. This is in the shade 145, and this is a much closer match to my skin color, so it kind of helps to even out the, not even out, but color correct the Balance and Brighten. Also, I find that layering my powder foundations, once again, light layers of things look better than one heavy like splat, right? I just think that that also wears a lot better throughout the day than just one heavy solid coating of blush, contour, like just light layers. I think it took me a long time to learn that when I first started doing makeup. When I was a teenager, I definitely thought just one coat was best for everything. One solid coat of mascara, one solid stripe of, you know, eyeshadow color. Light layers and blend. It's really the best. So one thing that I think dry people can do to make a powder foundation look a lot more natural is to have a just a makeup mist or setting spray or hydrating spray to be able to kind of go over the top with. I think that that also helps, and you know, in some cases can extend the wear of makeup as well. I really actually like this Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray from Charlotte Tilbury. I don't wear it every single day because I don't really need my makeup to last all that long. I do my makeup every day, even though most days I don't even leave the house, but I don't know, it makes me happy. So yeah, I do this every single day, which is probably embarrassing, but it makes me happy. Anyway, so that is, I feel like that is everything, right? Did I get it everywhere? Yeah, just go down onto your neck a little bit. Another thing I like to do is, just gonna go back with my Balance and Brighten. If I want a little bit more coverage, like I tend to, powder foundation tends to not want to stick to like the corners of my eyes here. So I will take that, this is very slightly damp, by the way, very slightly. And I will go into the Balance and Brighten, just kind of works best for this. And I will go underneath the eye area and press this in. And it then gets me the coverage that I want on these corner parts of my eye. And if there's ever like any redness around my nose, like if I have a cold or something, just a little bit more. And you can get the extra coverage that you want. And that's it. That's my powder foundation routine. Now there are times where I will go over top with like, if I want a little bit of like a glow that's a little bit more immediate, I'll take my diffused light from Hourglass. This is the Ambient lighting powder. And again, just with this exact same brush, load a little bit on there, and then the areas that I want to highlight, I just kind of place the product there. And what I really like about these Ambient lighting powders is that they never make my skin look shiny. They just provide that like lit from within glow, if that makes sense. So yeah. At this point, I'm ready to go in with, this really blanks out my face, right? Yeah, this is good coverage, guys. Like this is a completely blank canvas. Now, I didn't have any pimples or anything like that, but I do have enlarged pores, and I really do think that the powder foundation helps to not accentuate my pores the way that a liquid foundation definitely does. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna upload this, and then I will film my contour and blush routine as well. So tomorrow you guys will see how I bring a little bit of life back into this blank canvas here. So thanks a lot for tuning in for today's video. Make sure that you're subscribed, and you'll see the blush and contour tomorrow. Toodaloo, guys.